Busting.
Hi there. I'm Bonnie James, and I teach people to trust themselves to read fast and understand more. And why I call it myth busting is because I teach a lot of people who know they need to read faster, but they really don't think that speed reading works. And if it does work for other people, they're pretty sure they can't do it even though they need to. When I first say, I teach speed reading, what do you think of first? Well, we talk about that because unanswered questions and barriers gets in the way of learning. So we talk about the myths of speed reading. Because unanswered questions block learning. So when we have the fear, we can't learn. If we have blocks and misconceptions, we can't learn. So when I tell them, you're going, we teach this, there's fear. And then when I say, okay, you've done all these steps, and then I turn my stopwatch on, you're going to go down this 15 seconds per column, they really say, oh boy, they're scared to death. So basically what I want you to learn is if you're teaching people who are reluctant or don't think they can do it, if you take care of their difficulties first, then they'll be prepared to learn. But we decided, I just started after teaching this for many, many years, that if I talked about misconceptions, that they could have a leap of faith to do the things that they're asked to do. One of the first questions people ask me, though, is, does it work? I mean, isn't that what you thought of when I said, I teach speed reading? Okay, does it work? Well, one of the things you can do if you have people who are reluctant is show them your own statistics. Seeing things on television, commercials, and all that stuff doesn't matter as much as when I show them real results from real people, just like themselves, who also thought, can I really understand it if I read it fast? So I just let you see the statistics up here that I show my students from real people, real results. And hey, they were engineers and IT people. And so when I've got people who are trained to read very carefully, you have to see every word, you can't get it, and I show them other people can do it, then they're more ready to learn how to do it themselves, especially the people who are really used to being very, very careful. But then people say, well, are they really reading it? What I do is I ask them, well, what is reading? And so I have them list what reading is. And that's kind of messy writing because I have my students write on my tablet PC. Usually they write it on this paper. But they come up with the same definition intellectually that we have. Basically, reading is getting meaning. And we also adding it to the prior knowledge. So it's pretty much the same as mine, but what we have to deal with is the intellectual definition with what is inside with our inner child definition. Because that's what gets in the way of our inner child. When you were a little toddler, reading, when you said, let me read this to you, or will you read this book to me? Reading meant hearing all the words spoken out loud. Or if you read to your child, that's what you do. When you got to first grade, reading was saying the words out loud, doesn't you look happy? Perfectly. So it wasn't just pronouncing words, it was being sure that they were said just right. So all my work that I do with people is getting them to use their intellectual definition to get rid of the inner child that we all carry within us. But one of my students, when I was telling what I was doing, I said, 5 minutes, and she was in one of my classes, and she said, the most powerful tool that I provided her was seeing my own progress. And so we set goals, and we do beginning testing, and all the way through, they see their progress with their words per minute, their comprehension scores, and they do their math, and they report it themselves, and they can see how much they accomplished for themselves, and then they learn to trust themselves. But another thing that people ask, well, does it last? Well, a couple of weeks ago, I got the neatest phone call from somebody who cleans his desk off as often as I do. He took the course about 20 years ago. He called me up, found his handbook, called me up, and he gave this testimonial. And so when people are reluctant and they see that other people have a skill that it lasted, they're willing to do it themselves. And I just was thrilled. Now, we have to bust the myths for people to change because of fear. And fear is false expectations appearing real. In my case, I can't read fast. I have to hear every word. With the people you teach, they have fear too. So bust their myths, and they'll learn better. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie. Next we have